In the heart of South India, in the lush kingdom of Mysore, lived a warrior, a scholar, a sovereign whose name still echoes through the corridors of time. Tipu Sultan, known to history as the Tiger of Mysore. Born in 1751 in Devanahalli, near present-day Bengaluru, Tipu was the son of Sultan Hyder Ali, a formidable general who rose from humble origins to rule Mysore. But it was Tipu who would carve his name into the annals of world history. Tipu Sultan was not just a warrior. He was a man of deep faith, a devout Muslim who prayed 5 times a day, who fasted during Ramadan, and who sought to govern his realm according to Islamic principles of justice and mercy. He titled himself Sultan Fateh Ali Sahab Tipu, but more humbly, he signed letters as Tipu Sultan, servant of the Mujahideen. His faith was not for show. It was the compass that guided his decisions, his diplomacy, and even his warfare. He surrounded himself with Islamic scholars, sponsored the building and restoration of hundreds of mosques, and ensured that his army had imams to lead prayers on the battlefield. Tipu Sultan saw himself not just as a king, but as a Ghazi, a warrior in the path of Allah. His court chronicles and letters were filled with phrases like, "In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, and with Allah's help, we shall triumph over the infidels." Yet he was not narrow in his vision. Tipu Sultan respected the diversity of his people. Though a Muslim ruler, he appointed Hindus to senior administrative posts, donated to temples, and protected religious harmony. But his resistance to British imperialism was rooted in his Islamic identity. To him, the British weren't just invaders. They were agents of kufr, of corruption, of tyranny, threatening the sovereignty of his people and the dignity of his faith. When the East India Company extended its tentacles into southern India, Tipu rose like a lion. He waged 4 Anglo-Mysore wars, becoming the first Indian ruler to understand the colonial threat in its entirety. And he didn't fight alone. Tipu wrote letters to the Ottoman Caliph in Istanbul, to the rulers of Afghanistan, Persia, and even Napoleon Bonaparte in France, seeking alliances against British expansion. He dreamed of a global Muslim resistance, a united Ummah standing strong against foreign domination. This was no ordinary king. He minted coins inscribed with Islamic declarations. His emblem bore the words Asadullah al-Ghalib, the victorious lion of Allah. Tipu Sultan ruled with vision and innovation. He built one of the most modern armies of his time, with European-style training and artillery. He developed rocketry far ahead of his age, rockets that would later inspire British designs in the Napoleonic Wars. His state was a blend of faith and forward thinking, rooted in Islam, yet open to progress. Tipu Sultan's true test came during the Second Anglo-Mysore War. At just 29 years old, he took command after his father's death in 1782. The British East India Company had underestimated Mysore, but Tipu had other plans. In the Battle of Palalur, 1780, one of the most humiliating defeats for the British, Tipu and Hyder Ali deployed rockets and superior tactics. The British lines collapsed under intense fire. Hundreds of redcoats lay defeated, their discipline shattered. Tipu's victory at Palalur marked a turning point. It showcased Mysore's military innovation, especially Tipu's use of iron-cased rocket artillery, centuries ahead of its time. Tipu then turned his attention to the strategic port city of Mangalore. A fierce siege began, lasting over 6 months. Diseases ravaged both sides, but Tipu's resolve remained unshaken. Though the British held the fort, they were forced to negotiate. The war ended in 1784 with the Treaty of Mangalore, one of the rare treaties signed by the British on equal terms with an Indian power. But peace was short-lived. In 1790, the British, aided by the Marathas and the Nizam of Hyderabad, launched a massive assault on Mysore. Tipu stood alone, surrounded, outnumbered, yet unbowed. He fought fiercely at the Battle of Seringapatam, but the odds were overwhelming. Facing betrayal from allies and pressure from all sides, Tipu signed the Treaty of Seringapatam in 1792, half of his kingdom lost, 2 of his sons taken as hostages to the British. But even in defeat, Tipu's eyes burned with defiance. He famously declared, "Better to live one day as a tiger than 1,000 years as a sheep." The final chapter unfolded in 1799. The British were determined to crush Tipu Sultan once and for all. Seringapatam, his capital, was under siege, but Tipu refused to flee. As cannonballs rained upon his fortress, Tipu led from the front. His capital, outnumbered, outgunned, betrayed by Indian allies of the British, Tipu could have fled. He could have surrendered. But true to his faith and true to his honor, he chose Shahada, martyrdom, over submission. They found his body near the gate of the fort, sword in hand. He died facing the enemy, and with his death, India lost one of its greatest sons. The British looted his treasures, took his throne, and paraded his tiger emblems through London. But they could never erase his spirit, and live like a tiger he did. Today, Tipu Sultan stands as a symbol of resistance, of courage, of a ruler who upheld the dignity of Islam, even in the face of global empires, of a king who balanced the sword with the scripture, who ruled justly, fought fiercely, and died with honor. Tipu Sultan, not just the tiger of Mysore, but a true Muslim, a martyr, a legacy that will never fade. In every drop of his blood was the cry of freedom. Fighting till his last breath, he died defending his people, his city, and his dream of a free Mysore. And in every beat of his heart, the remembrance of Allah. History does not forget the brave, and Tipu Sultan was nothing less than legendary. I hope you guys enjoyed the great legacy of Tipu Sultan, the undisputed king of the Mysore. If you want to see more, then like it and share it. See you guys in the next one.